want to show y'all something and talk about this because it irritates me. I've been very vocal about it for many years in this industry, and it is absolutely appalling that it's not changing. I'm going to share some screenshots from a young gal named Katie. She goes by That Sharp Shooting Girl. And these were comments that were left on one of the videos that she had posted about her training. Obviously, here's a couple of them here. As you can see, this last one is a gem. This whole video is borderline Down syndrome, and I would laugh at a 25-yard range if I saw someone busting this thing out. Her eye is not lined up with the scope. Oh well, she's a girl. There were many other comments you can kind of see down here at the bottom, get your boyfriend something, but whatever, you guys get the point. I'm sure that I am not the only woman that has called this behavior out, and then we are met with opposition from men, being told that we're being overdramatic, we're being bitches, or that we're man haters. A lot of women don't like to say anything at all when they're treated like crap because of how they're going to be treated for calling it out. A lot of these people are the people that sit there and they say they want women in this space, treat them like this, and then they're confused why women don't want to embrace gun ownership and training. Fact is, the industry still has a long way to go at being welcoming to women, and we really need to do better.
Yo, you gotta stop the misogyny around the 2A community. I don't know if it's only because, like, these type of dudes that make fun of the women that join it, or, you know, just don't overall know anything about women, or just believe in any type of socially passed stereotype about women when it comes to guns and firearms. For those, let's just start off with a couple disclaimers, right? Not every woman is prone or should get to the smallest gun. For those who don't know and give that potentially life-threatening advice to women, that advice could end up giving a gun to a woman that makes her feel comfortable or have it easily concealed, and, you know, that may just be given to someone, you know, just for the purpose of just so they could have a gun or simply feel more comfortable, or for it to be light enough for them to carry it. And, you know, that idealistically sound cool and good in my opinion. You know, I wouldn't disagree if that was the only way that you could get a small gun into the hands of a woman. And, you know, I'm sorry to say it like a lot of these dudes who probably haven't been around any, you know, to speak on y'all damn near as if y'all in an entirely different species. But for those who don't know, smaller guns, for example, the .380 Smith & Wesson Bodyguard or Ruger LCP or even a Mini 1911, the smaller a gun is, the less grip you could have on it and the less chance you have of handling the recoil depending on the size of the caliber. That greatly matters. For example, for a .380, I wouldn't advise a micro pistol, like I said, unless that's something you already have done your research on, practice with, and, you know, the person who you're getting it to or giving it, you know, getting it for should also have already done research on the type of weapon, or at least to learn a little something about the ergonomics of pistols. I know there's people out here who also think that there's guns made specifically for women. There are not. There's not one gun on earth. For the most part, let's just be real. Most guns in general, if we're just gonna look at America alone or just overall, are in the hands of men. You know what I'm saying? There's no dude on earth that was like, yep, this is gonna go in every woman's hands. And for those of y'all who have little experience with women, you know what I'm saying, I gotta take my jabs with y'all because y'all keep on spreading this bad misinformation. A woman could shoot any caliber she has the time to practice for, just like you. If we want to be honest, most dudes can't shoot. Most dudes have John Wayne syndrome. Most dudes are the ones who carry incorrectly. They're the ones who get guns because they look cool in movies or to make them feel more powerful. And, you know, if I were to tell you to get like a pocket rocket and you'd be straight as long as you're not causing any type of issues in whatever community, and you probably wouldn't even believe me, even though that successfully, if you even look at a lot of gunshots, and, you know, there has been some that was studied by firearms instructors that'll tell you how many shots typically go off of their studies. For example, 6+1, as I said in my pocket pistol video, would be real good for someone who feel like they're in a nice gated community, who don't want to do nothing but, I'll say, like a close walk from like a gas station or something like that of the sort, where it's wherever you believe it'd be like a low likelihood of you ever coming across trouble. That's when you be completely fine with low capacity, and that is arguably most people. Most of us aren't YouTubers that's going out here meeting with random people or being a photographer shooting behind the scenes and fucking with people in a way of what's trying to network or putting ourselves in position, you know, where you may be around the wrong types of people, arguably for the most part, if we're just being real. Most of us don't need most of the capacity that we have. I feel fine whether I have this or my double stack, and I've also put in the training, which I'd probably show, that I've done prior, you know, to even putting it on YouTube that will make me feel safe. And I've even have used this pistol alone that stopped harm from coming my way before without even having to directly kill anyone, you know? But sadly, when it comes to the two-way space, I don't know if it's just simply due to it being so male dominated or people just starting to hate women more and more on the internet. But I think it's about time that, you know, you people start to get a grip. We need to stop pretending like LADYWICK don't exist. We need to stop pretending like, let's say, I believe her name is April, doesn't exist. We need to stop pretending like Alex Zedra, if I'm saying it correctly, doesn't exist. But overall, let me go into more as to why there isn't specifically a gun for women, for those who don't know. One, it's because your body can naturally adjust and adapt to whatever you train to. Whether that's a 45, whether that's a Desert Eagle, whether that's a 9mm, a 380, or a 22. And most of you realistically only carry typically what's the most known caliber or suggested caliber. Typically so you don't get made fun of because your pride is intact. You want the coolest gun. A lot of you don't know nothing outside of Glocks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you don't do your research on guns. Half of you don't know what dual triggers are, double single actions are. Most of the guns that a lot of dudes probably only know is based off of what they seen in Call of Duty or what they believe hood niggas carry or to seem to be effective. It's a reason why Glocks and Dracos are so popular, even amongst the people who don't use them on the day-to-day or don't carry them. Well, no, we could also throw in the ones that do carry them. And let's be real, that has something to do with media or movies, and you know, you can even argue with that with the M&P Smith & Wesson or the HKUSP, you know, also guns that have been seen all over movies and such. But most of you people who talk like that overall don't even know what you're talking about. Let's just be real. Most of you are dummies who played, well, most of you who spread the negative opinions are dummies that play too much Call of Duty, watch too much movies, know little to nothing about guns or about calibers or how actual gunfights go for the typical civilian that's just carrying it for self-defense overall. Most of you probably get double stacks just to make up for your lack of confidence in what you could do in a stressful situation, but yet feel the urge to go around and boss motherfuckers around on their type of caliber, gun size, and choice. Like, I remember I told people as to why I didn't like Glock, and my response was I had a quote-unquote cheap 380. A typical Glock was, I believe, is around 500 to, let's say 450 at the lowest, and let's say to 600. And my double stack Burst of Thunder Plus, that was close to 500. Why didn't I get a Glock for that? Because I'm already familiar with the 380 caliber. It has low recoil, already been proven, had a long enough barrel to be effective at long distances, or at least the typical ranges that you'll be seeing used for a pistol. And it has more than enough capacity, which was 15+1, which is the typical Glock 19 capacity, which is also one of the most sold pistols in America. But when you're telling that to people who don't know shit and just follow trends when it comes to weapons, or just want to show off their cool, flashy guns on YouTube channels, or only feel confident with their guns because they see everybody else using it, or, you know, too scared to be mocked for having something different, or only attaching themselves to a certain brand because that's all they know or see is cool and believe is reliable, that lets you know who you shouldn't listen to. I don't care what type of gun you have. Are you effective with it? Have you practiced with it? Can you prove it to yourself that you could be useful with it in a stressful situation? Until then, one, you do not need to be giving out advice to women or people in general as to what firearm they should get, and you should shut the fuck up. Have a good one.